Hey guys, what's up? And today I'm going to be talking about a 2020 NBA mock draft with trades. So yeah, I don't really put this much effort into videos, at least as much as this. So it would mean a lot if you could drop a like and comment. Don't even have to subscribe, just helps with the algorithm. So yeah, let's get right into it. So I basically ran through the mock draft simulator, and with the number one pick, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Anthony Edwards. This is a good pick. I don't think LaMelo would have really, fit as well as Edwards. Because LaMelo is a point guard. Edwards is, of course, a shooting guard. And Wiseman is a center. There you have Cat Toppin. The defense would be terrible, though it would be very entertaining to watch. But yeah, the Minnesota Timberwolves jump up to number one and select Anthony Edwards with the first overall pick. Sorry if I'm looking down, but this is where my notes are. At number two, the Golden State Warriors are. And there's a trade. And it is the Golden State Warriors trade this pick to the Atlanta Hawks for John Collins, the trade is John Collins for a 2020 second round pick, number 2 pick, and Eric Pascal. But the 6th pick, which the Hawks have, is also included. So John Collins in the 6th pick, the 2020 second round pick, the number 2 pick, and Eric Pascal. For Atlanta, you jump up and hopefully can select a great player. For the Golden State Warriors, you get John Collins, you still get a good pick. Though you do lose Eric Pascal, John Collins will be the starting power forward, and it opens up room for Draymond Green trade. And now, with the number 2 pick, the Atlanta Hawks select Obi Toppin. Though they probably could have only traded up a couple spots, they wanted to make sure they get Obi Toppin. And they still do get Eric Pascal, so it was a pretty good deal for the Atlanta Hawks. Then at number 3, the Detroit Pistons also make a trade. Now this trade includes the New York Knicks. The trade is Wayne Ellington, Maurice Harkless, Julius Randle, 2021 Charlotte second round pick and 2022 second round pick for Blake Griffin and the 2021st. And this is a very interesting trade. Oh, and Detroit also, Detroit, for this trade, they got rid of Blake Griffin, which is very important. They had to get rid of Blake Griffin. They did have to give up a first, but they got off of Blake Griffin's contract. They got some young players. They got some picks. And it wasn't the worst deal for the Pistons because they had to get out of his contract. Now, with the New York Knicks at number 3, they will select LaMelo Ball, big name, big city, as I always say. Don't need to go as much in depth. But he's a great player, high risk, high reward. But if he works out, then he will help the Knicks he'll help the Knicks get out of misery. Don't know if he'll actually do. But he'll also become way more attractive for free agents like Giannis, LeBron, and Kawhi to sign with the New York Knicks. Now at number 4, my Washington Wizards jump up and select Deni Avdija. Though players like James Wiseman were on the board, I think they're set at center with Thomas Bryant. At small forward, they don't really have any place. And Deni Avdija hopefully will help with defense a lot, as this team needs defense. Now, they could have selected guys like Okoro, but this was a big risk, like they have taken many risks with keeping John Wall, with giving him that max contract. And this will be a big move for the Washington Wizards. Now, at number 5, the Cleveland Cavaliers selecting James Wiseman. They're putting all their, they're just hoping that they can trade Kevin Love, that Tristan Thompson, there will probably be a sign trade, or Andre Drummond, there could be a trade, and just hoping for the future of James Wiseman, hoping the trio of Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, and James Wiseman work out and are the future of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, for this 2020 NBA draft, we've done the first 5 picks, and I'll recap it. The Minnesota Timberwolves selecting Anthony Edwards at number 1. The Golden State Warriors trading John Collins, 2020 second round pick, and John Collins in 6th pick for a 2020 second round pick, number 2 pick, and Eric Pascal. The Atlanta Hawks select Obi Toppin. At number 3, there's a trade. Basically, the Knicks get Blake Griffin, which I think the Knicks would do the Blake Griffin trade because they're the Knicks. Maybe they'll just hope that he does good. But they do get LaMelo Ball. The number 4 pick, Deni Avdija, goes to the Washington Wizards in the NBA draft, and James Wiseman goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, next off at number 6 in this NBA draft for 2020, very weird draft. There will be Atlanta, but now it's Golden State Warriors after the trade. The Golden State Warriors select Onyeka Okongwu, so Okongwu falls very far, and they didn't get Obi Toppin, but I think it was a great move. He can be your center. Imagine getting John Collins and Okongwu for LaMelo Ball and Eric Pascal. I would take that if I'm the Warriors. They're building for the future, but still have great players now, have trade assets for Giannis, but still are able to probably at least survive with one left of Wiggins, Draymond, Okongwu, and John Collins. So great move for the Golden State Warriors. They are one of the biggest winners in this draft. Now, number 7, the New York Knicks are also there, and they will be selecting Killian Hayes, another point guard. Yes, they did select 2 point guards, LaMelo and Killian Hayes, but if LaMelo turns out to be a big bust, then Killian Hayes is there, and if LaMelo turns out to be good, maybe they can run a 2-guard lineup or a 3-guard lineup with LaMelo as shooting guard or small forward since he's 6'7", and I'm pretty sure he can play small forward, but he also can play shooting guard, we know that, and Killian Hayes can also be a 6-man. So this 2020 NBA draft, we've done the first 7 picks, because I'm only doing the lottery, and it's very interesting. But then at number 8, we have the Chicago Bulls selecting Isaac Okoro with potentially an Otto Porter trade. Isaac Okoro will be a replacement. He will not be the next MJ, but he can help with defense, which will be great for the Chicago Bulls. And they love this pick, selecting Okoro at number 8, which is a steal. Then at number 9, there's another trade. It is Charlotte trading with OKC, the Thunder, who want to build for the future, but also right now. They'll be trading Danilo Gallinari, a sign and trade, for the number 9 pick. The reason Charlotte would do this is because MJ doesn't know how to really be a great general manager. I'll give it up to him. He's a great player. I'd love to meet him. But he's not the best general manager. And maybe, they're getting awesome contracts. And maybe they're like, all right, we have Devontae Graham, we have Terry Rozier, let's try and make the playoffs. Because MJ does have that mindset, He might not be a best GM, but he has that winning mindset, and he's going to be like, I want to make the playoffs. And just doesn't rebuild, which they probably should. Goes for Danilo Gallinari. And the Thunder, why they're doing this, Gallinari, there's many doubts he'll leave. And for a number 9 pick to help with the future, and Gallinari, he is aging, I think it would be a great move for the OKC. Not the best move for Charlotte, but maybe they can pull it off. Sam Presti is pretty good. But then it would be Charlotte's pick, but now OKC, it's like Tyrese Halliburton. Getting another guard, but with the Chris Paul trade rumors, truly I thought when the Chris Paul trade rumors started a few months ago, there's no way they would trade Chris Paul, but now with his trade value probably at his peak, there's a good chance that they do trade him. And Tyrese Halliburton can be the guard for the future. Now, I do know that they do have Dennis Schroeder, but maybe they're like, I want a young guard also, and that is where Halliburton comes in. He will be able to be a guard for the future, and that's the Thunder's pick in the 2020 NBA draft. And, let's get even more into it. So, let's just get into number 10 pick. That is Phoenix selecting Cole Anthony. Now, Cole Anthony, he's going to be a big boomer bust player, but the Suns are all about that. The Suns want to win. And if Cole Anthony turns out to be what they think he is, then they can win. Now with the 11th pick in this 2020 NBA mock draft trades, it is Aaron Nesmith to the San Antonio Spurs. Now I don't know much about Nesmith, but I think the Spurs might trade it, but I couldn't really think of another team that would want to trade with them. So, Aaron Nesmith going to the San Antonio Spurs. Hopefully he can be a great player for them. Probably a backup at shooting guard, small forward. Then, at number 12, Sacramento selecting Saddiq Bey. Also, he could be a replacement for Buddy Hield. Then, number 13, the Pelicans selecting RJ Hampton, another boomer bust prospect. But if he is a boom, which, remember, RJ Hampton, I'm not saying this because I think he's great, but you have to remember, he was very high last year. He was like a top 5 player in most of the NBA mock drafts. So, maybe RJ Hampton is what we thought he is 1 year ago, and that will help the Pelicans a lot. He can be a backup for Alonzo. probably the sixth man, or maybe he can play at the 2. Then, lastly, this last pick with the NBA 2020 mock draft with trades is Portland selecting Tyrese Maxey. He'll probably be a backup. I think the Trailblazers could try and trade this, but last year Anthony Simons happened, so yeah, who knows. But going over the draft one last time, Minnesota selecting Anthony Edwards. Warriors trading for John Collins, but having to trade Eric Pascal and some picks. The Warriors and the Hawks getting Obi Toppin. Detroit getting having to give up Blake Griffin for first, and Blake Griffin and a first, so basically getting off the contract, which is great for them. They can finally rebuild. Is LaMelo Ball. Washington selecting Denny Avdia. Cleveland Cavaliers getting James Wiseman. The Hawks, but now the Warriors selecting Onyeka Okongwu. The Knicks selecting Killian Hayes. The Bulls selecting Isaac Okoro. Charlotte trading Gallinari and OKC trading Gallinari for the 9th pick. Now OKC selecting Tyrese Halliburton. Phoenix selecting Cole Anthony. San Antonio Spurs selecting Aaron Nesmith. Sacramento selecting Saddiq Bey. The Pelicans selecting RJ Hampton. And Portland selecting Tyrese Maxey. That is the NBA 2020 mock draft with trades. Thank you so much for watching. Be healthy, stay safe, and peace.